Hey, what's happening, man, the squad? You know the hardest part about a car convention? It's a trick question, it's the prices. But real talk is trying to figure out how to secure your precious cards from getting from destination A to destination B. Now, we've all tried some of everything out there, like the duffel bag. Yeah, it's quick, it's easy, but that ain't gonna work. We tried the backpack. I like the support, I like the straps, but that ain't it. But you know, the people at Enhanced Gaming have heard your cries. They've heard your pleas. And they've introduced the next wave in your gaming accessories. Introducing the Enhanced Bag. Check out the craftsmanship. This bag is designed to hold everything from your deck boxes to your playmat dice. I don't care if you're playing MTG, D&D, or if you're one of those heathens out there playing Pokemon. This bag was designed to nestle and carry all the things that you care about. Check out affiliate link at the bottom to help yourself get out a nice cozy discount and help support those things that you put all that time and effort into building. So you just have to ask yourself something. Would you rather have a regular experience or an enhanced?
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Command Center. We like to put our favorite commander, maybe even yours, front and center. And you know we can't do that unless we play those three mystical magical letters, EDH. What does it stand for today, Hado Cam?
Why y'all keep asking me this? It's like every time you play the format, how do you not know what it stands for? But you know what? It stands for embracing different hierarchies. That's right. When it comes to Magic, there's these special things that come out that are called bicycles. Sorry, they're called cycles. They're called queen. They're called something. But before we tell you what we're talking about, we got to give a shout out to one of our patrons.
We want to shout out Dean. Thank you, Dean, whose favorite commander is Prosper Tonebound. So we already know you like to do dirty, dirty things.
I've never heard of this card.
Sir.
Explain it to the people.
So Prosper basically says you're going to make a lot of treasures, cast a lot of spells, and probably win the game. So Prosper, on the end step, you get to exile the top card of your library. You can cast it until the end of your next turn. And when you cast cards from exile, you get treasures, which it's a lot going on. And as we've learned from anything that makes treasures, they add up fast. So Dean, I like the way you like to do things.
In the words of a great philosopher, bads will make her dance. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about what we're talking about today. We're going to ride our bicycles. That's right. One of the favorite parts about any new set are the cycles. And if you don't know what a cycle is, Derek is going to tell you.
Thank you for volunteering me for this. So every set has a cycle is essentially a set of typically 5 cards, one for each color, sometimes color combinations that each have different effects. I think one of the classic examples that we can use from the most recent set, if you're just getting into it with Dominaria United, is the cycle of 1 card in each mono color that lets you pay life instead of the cost of mana, the weird Phyrexian things that whatever.
As a matter of fact, they have one of my favorite names, Defilers.
Yes, the Defilers. There you go.
They are disgustingly gross. And they are my spirit animals. How do you feel about them, Sid?
Never even seen them.
Okay. Look, I understand you completely because, 3 sets just came out last week and we still trying to catch up. But that's a story for a whole nother day. But anyway, today we are talking about our favorite cycles. Yes. Every set breeds new cycles and the new adventures that we can take and compound on our deck. And let's you talk about the Titans, of which we only got 2 because we're just going to figure out how to get their stuff together. But besides that,
he's talking about the giant Titans from the Elder Titans.
The Elder Titans. Okay. We got 2, one Boros and one Simic.
Simic, yeah.
And or it
was Rakdos.
Yeah,
Rakdos.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're talking about our favorite cycles.
Are you saying you want more Uros in the world? I'm kind of happy they didn't finish that cycle. That
cycle is going to be busted.
Yeah.
Like busted, like trying to stuff 10 pounds of crap in a 2-pound bag. But anyway, our favorite cycles.
Who wants to start it off?
Okay, I think Derek should start it off. Go ahead, Derek, after Sid.
Cool. All right, so my first favorite cycle, I kind of slept on this for a minute, but I saw what this cycle was doing in the format, and I was like, you know what? I think I need to pick up one of each. And I'm talking about the Ascendancies from Khans of Tarkir. So we talking about our Abzan ascendancies. We have the Jeskai, we have Sultai, we have Mardu, and we have Temur. All of these are great colors, definitely dope colors to play on their own, but even each cycle does something powerful on its own. I'm talking like Temur ascendancy wins this man games.
All day.
I'm pointing at Hadoken.
All day.
Creatures you control have haste,
Yes.
and you draw a card when a big one enters the battlefield.
That's all I do.
That's all he does. Like, why are you letting this man draw cards?
Exactly.
Right.
That literally print and said Ken wins. That's all it says.
We're talking about Abzan ascendancy. We're putting 1/1 counters on each creature we control when it enters the battlefield. Whenever creature you control is die, you put a 1/1 spirit into the battlefield. You keep creatures cycling through the graveyard into the battlefield.
Somebody in research and development thought this was a good thing. That person needs to be P-tested immediately.
Now, the one who needs to be fired is the one who came up with Jeskai ascendancy. Because you cast a non-creature spell, and each creature you control get +1/+1 to end the turn, and most importantly, they untap. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you can draw a card, discard a card. But the most important thing is they untap.
Prowess and untap triggers. What are we doing in this world?
What are we doing? Nasty, sick. So sick, I want to pass it off to Derek.
The other thing I love is the simplicity of the naming. I feel like in a lot of newer cycles, it's really hard to follow. Like I remember even some of the new Tri-lands using crazy names. It's just straight up ascendancy and then the name of the three colors. Yeah. Wonderful for people with brains like mine that cannot remember that otherwise. So the first cycle that I want to go with, I'm just going to get it out of the way because it's the most obvious one I'm going to talk about. And it's the OG Praetors from New Phyrexia.
Oh, God.
Praetors.
We didn't see that coming. The guy who loves New Phyrexia chose the Praetors. Nobody saw that coming.
I like to keep people on their toes. I wanted to get it out of the way quick. But I love what the OG Praetors represented in that they were kind of all over the board, just these giant splashy effects for a ton of mana. You got everything from like OG Vorinclex and Jingataxius, which were the most broken, busted, like if someone plays that, everyone should kill them for the next 5 games because why did you put that filth in your deck? Then you got stuff like Elish Norn and Shieldred, which are really powerful and like splashy effects, but still you can play through them and still play a game. And then Urabrask is kind of just hanging out on the side, chilling and giving things haste and just living life, wondering why everyone hates the rest of the Praetors so much.
Yeah, Urabrask is the one Praetor that, you know, everybody else is eating chicken and he drinking soup. Look.
but at the same time, don't sleep on Urabrask because
I take naps on him.
I know you do. But at the same time, every Praetor is oppressive.
Yeah, except for him. Except for him.
No, the coming into play tap.
I don't know.
Urabrask does work, and the thing is, he doesn't eat removal as quick as the other ones do.
I don't know if you guys know who the Planeteers are, but he would be the Mati. Anyway.
So you're saying he's the heart of the group?
Yeah, horrible. Anyway, let me save you guys from yourselves. Let me tell you one of the best cycles. Oh, by the way, whoever created the Praetors, yeah, they need to be fired. They was like, how can we not make Magic fun? And they did it. Anyway, moving on to one of the best cycles ever to touch a card. It's the archetypes. And maybe you don't know this, but it's like, I can do it, you can't. You know, do as I say, not as I do. Like, for example, archetype of aggression. I stump you out, you can't stump me out. Archetype of courage. I hit you first. Archetype of endurance. You can't see me. John Cena card. Archetype of finality. I touch you, you can't touch me. And my favorite, imagination. We fly high, no lie, and you know this.
Ballin'.
That's one of my favorites.
Okay.
That was so beautifully expressed. That was like a poem.
Thank you very much. I try. Nah, I don't.
All right. We will kick this off, and we'll also have a discussion after the show about the Planeteers because Monty was more powerful than you think. Moving forward. So my next cycle, I want you to journey to a land of discovery, a land of unknown, a land of mystery. I'm talking about Ixalan because when we arrived on Ixalan, what was waiting for us? Dinosaurs.
That's right, flip lands. Wait, what? Wait, what was Ixalan?
Dinosaurs.
I thought it was flip lands. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they were there too. All right, some of those are actually pretty cool, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the big stompers, the big beaters. When it hits the table, your butt cheeks clench a little bit.
They clench a little bit harder.
You hear Sam Jackson say, "Hold on to your butts." All right, because we have Galta, Primal Hunker. big ass dinosaur. I'm talking 12, what a dinosaur should be. What we should have been seeing in Ikoria, but I digress.
I'm sorry. A dinosaur ain't nothing but a dragon without wings. But keep going.
Oh, okay. So we'll go to your favorite.
It's a boneless dragon. That's a wingless dragon.
We'll go to the one with wings, like Zatalpa, that you always seem to call a dragon.
That's a dragon.
It does kind of like a dragon, though.
It's a dragon.
Flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, indestructible.
Does your taxes, mows your lawn, raises your kids.
All right.
I love how it has every keyword and still has like 1/50th of the text of a normal legendary creature now.
Right.
Impressive.
Yeah, and then you have like Nezahal, otherwise known as can't touch me, can't touch this. So yeah, the elder dinosaurs were very much a delight to the format, and of course everyone cries when they see Atali hit the table. It's like a countdown of how much longer do we have till we have to remove this thing.
It hits the floor. This thing, you know. Shawty got low. Anyway. Derek?
So the next cycle I want to talk about is actually 3 cards, but I think they make up for the fact of not having a 5-card cycle. It is the Buggy Gods from Hour of Devastation. They are I love Amonkhet as a plane. Other than Innistrad, is probably my favorite like plane. I loved Amonkhet and like all the spooky zombies and all the things going on there. And the Buggy Gods were like perfect. I love the lore of them because they're like these ancient gods nobody even knows the name of, and they're just like there to just mess everyone's day up. But mechanically, these are 3 of my favorite commanders ever because, you know, Buggy Man number 1, the Locust God, is such a powerful deck. Ken, you play a Buggy God deck. I have a Buggy God deck. It's amazing.
Nobody plays the Scorpion.
It is so explosive. It goes off. The Scorpion God is also one of my favorite commanders. Thank you very much.
It is one of my favorite guys to alter because I'll put Scorpion for Mortal Kombat. Outside of that, it is a trash guy for trash people.
You can have your opinions and they could be wrong, and they are wrong. But with the Scorpion God, you get to play a lot of Infect. You get to play a lot of Proliferation. All the -1 counter synergies. It's similar to what Hapatra wants to do, which is a super fun deck, but you don't need as many tokens to keep track.
It's just Hapatra with extra steps.
So much hating today. And then you have the Scarab God, probably my favorite commander of all time.
That fails constantly.
It doesn't win much, but that's not the point. I still love it. And you can build it so many ways. You can do like big stuff reanimation. You can do zombie tribal. You can do mill your opponents. You can do steal your opponent's stuff. There's so many builds for it. And I just love the concept of having these activated abilities to build around because it really lets you have a mana sink that isn't broken by today's standards. When you have these mana sinks, it just always gives you something to do. So yeah, I think this cycle is like perfection for legendary creatures. And they even fixed the whole indestructible god thing, because a lot of the gods are a pain in the butt to deal with because like they're indestructible, so you can only use exile and bounce effects. For these, you can kill them even though they come back without tax. It's still a means to slow the deck down by a lot. So I think they got everything right with these gods.
Thank you, Derek, for choosing a cycle of 3. Anyway, moving on. So why do I gotta keep saving us?
Counting to 5 is hard, dude. Okay, calm down. The 3 is just, it's more comforting.
I understand. When you get to 3, things start to get blurry. Anyway.
Florida Public School.
I know. Now it's time to go to the real cycles. You know, I'm here to save the day again. One of my favorite cycles is called in the incarnation cycles. Now, these are the ones that do stuff when they go to their graveyard. Basically, I like them because they fart when they leave the room, and you got to sit there and bask in the smell. That's right. They're on the board. You kill them. They break wind, and then you still feel the effects. AKA anger, which gives all your creatures haste. AKA brawn, which means I'm coming to see you. AKA filth. I love that name because it describes everything I try to achieve in my life. It crips walk if you have a swamp. AKA valor, which means I'm going to bust you in the dome. We some head busters, and then wonder. We fly high again.
Yeah. Use your graveyard removal, people. This is why I always advocate for graveyard removal, because you never know when these incarnations will show up and show out.
They can show up on turn 1 when I don't play nothing and throw anger in my graveyard.
Oh, I've done that multiple times.
I love doing that.
Playlist graveyard removal. I like my graveyard.
Said.
All right, so I'm gonna go and talk about this cycle of 4. It was 5 at one point, but we'll get to that in a second. So when I first started playing Magic, this was actually around this time, and this was around Magic 2011. And so I got introduced to cards like Grave Titan, Infernal Titan, Frost Titan, Sun Titan, and most infamously, Prime Evil Titan. which was now banned. And I almost quit Magic because I see why now. But I'm glad they made that rule. Thank you, Rules Committee, for does RC ban cards? Is that what they do?
Yes, the rules committee
Okay.
bans cards.
Thank you, RC. Yeah, it took y'all long enough to ban it. I don't know, maybe something that puts 2 lands into the battlefield every time it jumps in and out might have been banned on day 1.
My favorite thing is there's still people I've seen argue for the unbanning of primetime, and it's just like, how that I can't think of a more ban-worthy card
unless they errata it to 2 basic lands. It can't come back.
First of all, primetime didn't hurt nobody. Okay,
primetime hurt a lot of feelings.
It hurt everyone. Primetime is one of, like, I think other than Prophet of Krufix, maybe the most like egregious commander card. Like, I think that isn't like the poster child of bans. I think it's Prophet of Krufix, Primetime are like the 2 like most like, how is this ever allowed type cards.
Yeah. So, but essentially the Titans, if you don't know, they're giant creature types. They're 6/6s, and when they enter the battlefield and when they attack, you get a trigger of abilities. So the ones I definitely see the most often play these days are Infernal Titan, Grave Titan, and Sun Titan. Hado can talk trash about Frost Titan, and my homie Derek. My homie Derek came in, saved the day like Superman, and produced a bunch of Frost Titans and hit him upside the head.
That's right, Superman, who is a punk for several reasons. But let me explain what really happened. They all jumped up and ganged up on me for no reason. People let stuff resolve that wasn't even supposed to resolve. It was really a hate tactic to knock me out of the game.
So I straight up made like 10 Frost Titans and just never let Ken untap anything because he talked so much shit about Frost Titan. It was wonderful.
Did we jump him? Yeah. Did he deserve it? Also, yeah. Because it's Hado Ken. All right, Derek, we got another cycle.
Yes, so this last cycle is my all-time favorite cycle. It's actually colorless cards, but still cyclical in nature. It is the OG Swords of. So it's the Sword of Light and Shadow, Feast and Famine, Fire and Ice,
Grix and Eggs. Sorry.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Body and Mind, and then I am missing War and Peace.
I need a sword of peanut butter and jelly.
Boy, that sounds amazing, right?
Y'all are just disrespecting these swords, mid. These are the original 5 are my favorite. I literally try to put these in so many decks. Like my Scarab God deck, for example, is just zombie tribal, not Voltron at all. I run 4 of the 5 swords because they're so useful. These things are, I think, like the perfect power level. They're typically not the type of things that are gonna, like, maybe except for Feast and Famine, are gonna take over a game and just break everything. But the protection mixed with the little utility effects, I feel like every deck could use one of these. Like if you have a mill deck, you got Body and Mind. If you have a play group that's drawing too many cards, you can throw War and Peace in there to punish it. If you just need extra removal and card draw because you're in colors that can't, Fire and Ice is there. Like, they do such awesome things, again, outside of Feast and Famine, that don't break the game. I just think it's like the perfect power level that I like to play at in Commander. And it's just so much fun to poke things. Like, I love combat, so it's encouraging you to take even non-Voltron commanders, suit them up, and use them for extra utility if you just plan on having your commander out. So yeah, I think this cycle, the new ones are really cool too. I enjoy what they've done with the newer ones, but I think those original 5 are just always going to be like my all-time favorite equipment.
I know what you mean, because it's amazing when somebody casts one of these swords and somebody blows it up instantly because you can't even equip it. It's amazing.
Yeah. I also love it when people don't realize that they have cards that interact with their other cards, and so they can't interact with their own card because they now have protection from the color of the sword that they put on them, and they didn't pay attention to that. So
they're right, Derek.
I love it when it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's happened once or twice, but in general, I typically pay attention to that. But no, I do think it is funny, though, because the swords do have the reputation. Now, Feast and Famine, if you ever see it, blow it up, never ask questions. But some of the other ones, like I play like Body and Mind, for example, and you get a wolf and mill someone 10 cards, and people waste removal on it. But it's great because, like, okay, if you want to use your removal on my sort of Body and Mind, like, that is wonderful because now all my other broken stuff won't get destroyed. So it's a great, and it only costs 3 mana. They're wonderful. I love them.
But they cost 5 because they cost 2 to equip. But anyway,
again, Florida Public School, I can't count. Don't do that to me.
Okay, let me go ahead and save the day because their cycles are always wrong. All right, everybody, pump your queen up, get on your bicycles because let me save the day. The third best cycle block is come from Theros. Now, they did good with the first rounds of gods, but I'm talking about the new gods. You know, the movie Ava DuVernay will never make. But anyway, the new gods like Helios that gives you
that helps you give lifelink and gains you 1/1.
Did you mean Heliod?
You know what I mean. Busted. What about Thrasher?
Helios is the new god cycle. That's that new Theros. That's the one we're going to.
What about Thrasher that flickers at the end of your combat?
Thassa.
You know what I'm talking about. My boy Purple Ghost Perp, who does sneak attack and gives haste. You know what he do. Hey, my girl Nyla, you know, chilling on the pride with Simba and them. You get to search for creatures to get trampled. You know what it is. And then Erebos. You know, nobody really cares about Erebos. Erebos is like the doo-doo child. But anyway, this block was disgusting. Like old guys were great. They were cool. But the new guys, that's where it's at.
So this is why we don't have an audio format of our podcast, because you need to visually see the cards that Hado Ken are talking about, because it won't work otherwise.
I love how much he disrespected Erebos by getting his name right, because it was just like, you're not even worth. Like, I know your name because I know I don't need to care about you. That was savage. Savage.
But anyway, if you see any of these cards that we've talked about except for Erebos, and you want to pick them up and put in your deck except the cycles they're talking about, why don't you check out affiliate link at the bottom for TCG. You can help yourself out, you can help your local LGS out, and you can help us all out at the same time.
At the same time.
And you know why we like to play filthy casuals. We like to dress, a little upscale. And when we try to do that, we got to go into the AM. When you out there playing your best Magic, you also want to look your best. That's right. Into the AM. In space, they can't hear you scream. But
they can see your drip.
Amen.
But also, let us know your favorite cycles down in the comments below.
And I know, Timmy, I can say, hey, I want to get the bringers. I want to do the command sets. I want to do the signets. You wrong.
I want to do the Urza lands.
Yeah.
The Tron lands.
You're wrong. But, you're free to be wrong. But like and subscribe. Until next time. I knew you'd do the Praetors.